Alright, hi you guys again. So today we're going to be talking about solving quadratics by the quadratic formula. So your title is going to be Solving Quadratics by the quadratic formula. Alright? And as we all know what quadratic functions are, quadratic functions are used in everyday life as when we calculate areas or determine product profit or formulation of the speed of an object. They also use quadratic functions in building bridges, uh, and they use it in like in the engineering field a lot. So last time we talked about what are the x-intercept or the roots of the function, and we were able to factorize and find the x-intercepts of the function. But now this is going to be like another method. So here I'm just going to define it for you. The quadratic formula is a technique that can be used to solve quadratics in the form of, so it's very important that it is in the form of a x squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. So if it's not in this form, we cannot use the quadratic formula anymore. All right. And we'll find the solution. Remember, the solution can be defined in so many different names. We can say solution, we can say x-intercept, we can say the roots, we can say the zeros of the function, alright? So, in the books sometimes there are some schools or some teachers, they do it in a different way. Well, it's not really in a different way, just I like to break it down into smaller steps. So, in general, the quadratic formula is defined as, so the quadratic formula could be x1 equals negative b plus square root of d over 2a. We're going to talk about each term. Alright, this is just kind of a definition or an overview of the things that we're going to be talking about over 2a. Now, of course, some of you are like, oops, what is d? First, let me highlight this. I like my notebook highlighted. Just feel it kind of brings out the important things that I need to know. That's x1 and that's x2 and d is the discriminant. What does the discriminant mean? The discriminant is equivalent to b squared minus 4ac, and that tells me how many solutions a quadratic function has. I'm going to talk more in more detail about this. I'm actually going to show you what does, some of you doesn't really know what a solution means or zeros of a function mean. I'm just going to write it down. I'll show it to you. So when we talk about, this is x and y right here. This is x, this is y. And when I have, let's say, that graph, that parabola right here, see where it touches the x on both sides? That's x1, that's x2. These are the roots, or the solution, or the x-intercept of the function. And remember, when we talk about x-intercept or solution, that means the y value is 0. So how many times does that quadratic function touch the x-axis? It touches twice. That means I have 2 solutions. All right, let's do another just random example, a random graph. X, y, let's do this graph. Notice here that that parabola touched the x-axis only once. And it just happened that the x-axis is the same as your vertex. Same as vertex, right? Now we're going to see what does a discriminant mean when we have one solution. Now let's see, let me just write example 1, example 2, and example 3. We got x and y. Let's say we have this kind of parabola. How many times does this graph touch the x-axis? None. So I got no solution. Or actually, I do have a solution, but it's an imaginary, here, let me write it down. Imaginary solution. Okay? But it does not touch the x-axis, or we can say there is no real solution. Let's see how the discriminant, because we talked about the discriminant in here. Let's see how the discriminant will help me find the how many solutions do I have. So we all agreed that the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. Right? That's your rule. So if in this case, if the discriminant is greater than 0, that means I'm going to have 2 real solutions. Or in other words, I'm going to have 2 x-intercepts. And this applies to the graph we have over here. Because see how it intercepts twice on the x-axis? Right. Now, let's talk about what if I have, if b squared minus 4ac, which is the d, equal to 0. What does it mean? That means I have one real solution. That means I have one x-intercept. Okay, let's see what if, is that too light? Probably too light. Let me get another one. What if D equal B squared minus 4AC, the discriminant, is less than 0. That means we're talking about the last graph you have in here, and that means I have 0 real solutions, and I have something called imaginary solution. Alright? Which means the parabola does not or doesn't touch the x-axis. Alright, that means I'm talking about a 3D or 3 dimension. I'm not talking about just x and y. I'm talking about x and y and z. So now these are the main important things you need to know when the discriminant is greater than 0, or when the discriminant, or when the discriminant is equal to 0, or when the discriminant is less than 0. So I'm going to write the steps step by step on how to solve, alright, how to solve this discriminant. I just like to write my steps down so that whenever you need them, you can go back and check step by step how to do the work. So, how to solve using the quadratic formula. I'm just going to write QF for the quadratic formula. So I'm going to write the steps here. I got step 1. I'm going to highlight it for you. Step 1, first and the most important thing, it has to be in the form of a x squared plus bx plus c equal to 0. Step 2, hopefully you guessed it, we have to identify A, B, and C. Identify A, B, and C. Step 3, so for step 3, you're going to find the discriminant, find the discriminant D equal B squared minus 4AC, and identify how many roots. How many roots? Alright, step 4, we're gonna of course do them all step by step. Alright, step 4, you're gonna plug step 4, we're gonna plug A, B, and C. Actually, I should have said A, B, and D into the quadratic formula x1, x2 equal negative b plus or minus square root of uh, d over 2a. Step 5, which is something you need to do in every single math problem. Hope you guessed it, which is you gotta simplify. You gotta simplify your answer. Alright, so I would suggest you take a picture of this. It would be better if you write in your notebook. You know, it's your own notebook, it's your own learning, and I'm just trying to help simplify the words for you guys. So I would suggest that you write all this in your notebook so that you don't forget it. Alright, now we're gonna do an example. There will be a lot of examples on this, right? We're not gonna do them all in this video, but I'm gonna probably do 1 or 2 examples now, and then you're gonna have more in the other videos. Alright, example 1, the question is, solve 2x squared minus 3x equals 5. So first of all, I'm gonna say, is step 1 valid? No, it's not. So I need to arrange it. Step 1, remember we have to put it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So in order for me to do that, I'm gonna say, let's go ahead. I need it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So I'm gonna subtract 5 on both sides, and I will get 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 equals 0. So now we're good with step 1. Alright, step 2. Let's use the same one. Step 2. We're gonna identify A equal to B equal -3 and C equal -5. Alright, we're done with step 2. Step 3, you're gonna find the discriminant. Alright, so we have the discriminant is b squared minus 4ac. So all I'm really doing right now is just doing some calculation there. D equals b squared, and I suggest you guys do not use your calculator so that you can just keep practicing your multiplication facts. So we got D. I'm just plugging in for A, for C, and for B. -3 to the second power is 9 minus, first we're going to do 2, I've got 4 here, 2 times -5 is -10. Discriminant is, please do not subtract 4 from 9 until you multiply -4 by -10. So -4 times -10, b plus 40, d is 49. 49 is a number bigger than 0. D is greater than 0. That means I have, if it's bigger, I have 2 real solutions. Alright, step 4. We're going to plug it in. Let's see if that's a good one. Plug it in with x1 equal -b negative b plus square root of b over 2a. This is going to be my first solution, which is negative b. I'm going to go back to here. Negative 3 plus, what is square root of 49? It's 7. So I can just go ahead and plug it in, or let me just write it down. Over 2 times 2. So x1 is negative times negative is positive 3 plus square root of 49 is 7 over 2 times 2 is 4. That's 10 over 4. And now we're going to simplify. And we will get 5 over 2. So that is the first root. Remember x1, that one here was positive. Now x2 is when I have minus square root of d over 2a, which is negative 3. So basically what really changes between x1 and x2 is just this one. So you just go ahead and do minus square root of 49 over 2a, or 2 times 2. x2 is 3 minus 7 over 4, which is 3 minus 4 is negative 4 over 4, which is negative 1. So my two solutions are, so the two solutions I have are 5 over 2 comma 0 and negative 1 comma 0. This is going to be the roots or the solution of the quadratic function, or this is where the parabola is going to hit the x-axis. I know it looks like a lot of steps, but it's really not. All you need to do is just plug in the numbers and do your math. Alright, do the calculation part. I'm going to go ahead and do example 2, which is the u-try part. The u-try. So I'm going to do x squared plus 4 equal 4x. So again, I look at this and I say, you don't have to always, I hope you will pause the video for 1 minute and do the work on your own and then come back and check your work. First one, is it in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0? No, it's not. So that's what I need to work on now. And in order for me to do that, I will subtract 4x on both sides so that I can take it to the other side. So I will have x squared minus 4x plus 4 equal to 0. Alright, perfect. Now step 2, I will say, let me identify a is 1, b is negative 4, and c is 4. Step 3, I'm going to say, let me find the discriminant d equal b squared minus 4ac, b squared, which is negative 4 all squared, minus 4 times 1 times 4. Negative 4 squared is 16, because remember, negative 4 times negative 4, negative times negative is positive, 4 times 4 is 16, and then minus 4 times 1 is 4, times 4 is 16, which is 0. That gives me discriminant equals 0. Or in other words, I have one real solution. Or in other words, vertex is the same as the x-intercept. Alright, now I'd like to find the value of this x-intercept. So I'm going to go with step 4, which is x1 equal negative b plus or minus square root of d over 2a. So it will be, remember, square root of d is, in this case, square root of 0, which is 0. So I do not have this anymore. And I will have negative b, which is negative 4 plus square root of 0 over 2, and a is 1. Okay, that would be 4 over 2, which is 2. So here I have 2 comma 0. That is going to be my solution. And you know what, actually, if I want to write this in a factored form, it's so easy. If you are asked to find the factored form, all you're going to do is take the opposite of this, x minus 2 all squared. Yep, and that's going to be it for today. Of course, we will do more examples. So in the next couple videos, all you're going to see is more examples with discriminant that is less than 0, and then you're going to see a mix of all of them. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed that video.